All right, hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Before I get into it, I want to remind everyone that Gunforged is available for sale. So if you want to support my work, please check it out in the links below, in the description below, rather. It's $8.99 USD, very positive ratings, and you can purchase it as part of a bundle if you're interested in doing that. And if you do play it, consider leaving a review. That would be very helpful. Also, you can purchase one of my Udemy courses. These are also linked below. This one is the 2D Survivor style game. It's got a 4.8 star rating with lots of students. So yeah, check that out if you're interested. It's a great way to kickstart your Godot learning journey, and it's a great way to support me as well. Okay, so what I'm going to do today is we're going to do something a little bit fun. I'm just going to be working on mostly, I think, making new cards for both the players and the enemies. So just building out some content. Like at this stage, I think it can't hurt to add more content. Obviously, there's a lot of like gameplay questions and balancing that I need to do. But ultimately, when I get to a final playable demo, there's going to need to be quite a few cards in the game to play around with. So I think that this is not going to be wasted effort, and it'll be a nice break from doing all the animations and stuff that I've been doing. So that's what we're going to do, and I'll pull up my list here and we can see actually what we got going on here. But before I get into that, hello Craig, welcome back. Good morning to you. Sorry to hear about your cat yesterday. I caught up with both streams. Love the anvil, great work. Thank you, appreciate that. Yeah, I think the cat, I think he's doing better today, but we're taking it easy still. So we'll see. All right, what kind of card do we want to make? So we've got a bunch of abilities that I can implement. I do want to figure out crit chance. That might be an interesting thing to do because that's going to open up a lot of card designs and enchantment potential as well. So I'm going to try to get crit chance working. I don't really know, like from a design standpoint, or like not game design, but like the code design architecture wise. I don't really know how I'm going to implement this, because I think ideally I'd want a system that allows me to put a crit chance on basically anything. And I don't know how that's going to fit into my current system. I basically have two requirements. I want to be able to design a card that has a built-in sort of innate crit chance, but I also want to be able to do things like have an enchantment that can add a crit chance to it. And then obviously I don't want the crit chance to be listed multiple times. So if I've got like two different sources of crit chance, I just want that to be kind of combined into like a total crit chance value, or maybe that can be shown somewhere else on the card. I don't know, but I think that would be interesting, because if I can add that, then that adds a little bit of interesting, crit chance, maybe crit damage would be interesting. Crit magnitude as well, because I can imagine a situation where you've got an item that deals like 1 damage, but it has like a 50% crit chance or something, and like 500% damage. Well, that would only be 5 damage, but you know what I mean. Like give it like a really low damage and then a high crit magnitude, so when it does crit, it does a ton of damage. And then that could present opportunities to like, oh, can we get this item's crit chance to 100%, you know? So I think that would be interesting to do. So maybe we'll do that. So part of making new cards, I guess, is adding these new abilities. So yeah, let's try it. Let's try to add crit chance here. I'm going to cheat a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and bring up my, my little AI helper. Let's create a new chat. So we got new context here. And do I want to use GPT-4o? I might as well. Alrighty. Well, I could start a voice chat here. Do I want to do that? Chat with extension. Can I add folder scripts? Nope. Add context. Code base, I guess. In scripts /data/ability, things that can be used to compose composed abilities as well as base card. I want to add the ability for numbers to have a critical chance, which will modify the magnitude of one execution if the critical chance is rolled. I don't know how to say this. Analyze my current code and recommend an approach to enable this. Yeah, there's nothing in, yeah, there's no critical chance, so sorry. Critical chance and critical multiplier. New method to calculate critical chance, yeah. Update abilities that use magnitudes, e.g. damage, heal. Something that I'm realizing now, before I go too far into this, is I may need to isolate a RNG value. I think in the future I want to support seeds, so having people able to share seeds and be able to play the exact run that's in accordance with that seed. I don't think I need to worry about that for the individual ability executions. So yeah, I think what I would do is, so maybe that's not a concern right now. I basically need a separate RNG for everything that's generated in terms of the events and all that. But in terms of the combat, I don't think I need to share the RNG. So yeah, never mind then. Update UI, expose critical chance, set critical chance in base card. I don't want that to be, do I want that to be in a base card? Apply critical chance. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I would rather do this what about a new interface that is something like iCritable? Handle composed abilities, yeah. I don't know about that either. Hello, Yaso Nex. Welcome back. Always good to see you. Happy to see your passion in this game. Thank you. Back on Copilot, I see. Yeah, the cursor was great, but the problem is that C# dev kit stopped working in cursor, and the alternate C# extensions were just too slow. Like C# dev kit is much faster, so I have to use Microsoft's VS Code, unfortunately. Hello, Adam. Welcome back. Always good to see you. So I think apply critical chance implementation is basically going to be the same. Critable Is there a way to simplify? Oh, base critable ability. Do I want to do that? Critable extensions, I could do that. Apply critical chance. I do think this is the way that I want to do it. No. Do I want the crit to be on the... Let's see. Do I want it to be on the damage itself? And heal and all that stuff? Let me think. Shoot. Do I want to put it at the level of the damage? So the architecture that I have going on here, it's a little bit weird, but it makes sense. So I've got my abilities here. These are all my ability scripts, and every ability in the root sort of ability directory here is very simple. So damage, that's all it does is applies damage based on its magnitude, basically. If I want a card to do damage, what I do is I have a simple damage here, which extends a base composed ability. So the reason why those things are different is because damage, you can think of these abilities as like the standalone, like this is the definition of how the ability works, and this is its behavior. But when I do a composed ability, what I can have inside of the composed ability is scaling and a description. So this base composed ability simply wraps a damage value, but also provides the ability to scale it for the tier of the card. So if you're at tier 3, the damage needs to go up. And so that keeps any tier data out of these simple abilities. And then for more complex composed abilities, I can stack multiple abilities together. So in here we've got poison, for instance, as well as a dynamic magnitude ability and a value scaler. So I can get more complex behavior when I want to apply poison out of this composed ability. And the reason why these are composed abilities fundamentally is so that way I can group logical chunks of ability functionality together. So this poison from turn consumption is a composed ability. This is the logical unit of abilities that can be, alchemized between cards and whatnot. And then I also, of course, have a simple poison composed ability, which is basically just applies poison with scaling values. So any ability that ultimately ends up on a card is going to be a composed ability. And then anything in here, these are the building blocks for building composed abilities. So the question I'm running into essentially is, where do I want to put the crit stuff? Should it be at the building block level, at the building block ability level, or should it be at the composed level? So again, keeping in mind the fact that I want to be able to set a crit chance for, let's say, a composed ability, and also a crit magnitude for a composed ability, but also leaving open the door for adding an enchant that increases the crit chance of the entire card, of all of the abilities on the card. Let me look at my enchantments here. Modify global status. Okay, so these are called, okay, interesting. So, shoot. Let me go back to my simple damage here. Yeah, I probably want to do this at the ability. Do I want to do this at the ability? Probably want to do this at the ability building block level. What does it say in here? Apply critical chance, final magnitude. Yeah, so... Okay, so let's see. I think that'd be the way to do it. So apply it at the building block ability level. Because then that way the value can be more transient. Because if I'm doing it at the composed ability level, I need to somehow pass that magnitude into the damage ability. So in here, for instance, if I added an execute method, I'd have to modify the damage ability's magnitude temporarily and then reset it. And that's going to be a huge hassle to manage. Whereas if I just do it in the building block ability level, like in this execute here, what the AI is showing is basically what I would do. So I would grab the final magnitude after the application of the critical chance, and then I would call damage with that final magnitude. But the thing is, I'm not fundamentally altering the stored magnitude ability, which is going to be good. So this is going to be like definitionally a transient value. And so I think that's probably the way to go. And I think I will take this iCritable approach here with the extension method. So that way I can get a default behavior, apply critical chance. And then, yeah, anything that implements iCritable will keep track of its crit chance and crit multiplier. Now, how's that actually going to look? I know I'm not actually getting into any work right now, but I'm trying to think of all the edge cases here. So how is that actually going to look in the description? If I've got multiple damage abilities on a single card, well, that's the other approach, right? The other approach is I could just do the crit chance at the card level and then have that affect all abilities. So I guess actually the implementation is going to depend on if I want each ability to have a different crit chance or if I want the crit chance to be like an overall configuration here. Ah, interesting. Very interesting. The problem with having an overall crit chance on the card is that I'm still going to need to indicate which abilities can crit and which can't, because there are going to be some abilities where a crit doesn't make sense. Like, I don't think it would make sense to put crit chance on incense, which just reduces the turn cooldown. Although maybe it does make sense. Maybe crit chance should just be a stat on the card that affects all of the numbers. What a decision. It's my favorite content to watch during work. Thank you, Kiwi. Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. Good morning, Lukey. Thoughts on Chess X deck builder game? I mean, I think there's a lot of potential for mixing and matching games that are typically board games and mixing and matching them, and then also wrapping them in roguelike. Like I saw something on, I forgot where it was, but like chess but roguelike, and I think there have been a couple of roguelike chess things, but I think that's always a really interesting concept, is taking like a traditional board game and just like wrapping it in a roguelike formula, or like you said, mixing and matching. So it all depends on the execution, right? Like I could see a turn-based tactics game kind of thing where your chess pieces move like typical chess pieces, but then you have cards that can either spawn new chess pieces or can buff a chess piece or give a chess piece a different move set. And then you could do interesting things too, like instead of instantly taking like enemy pieces when you make a valid move, it's just doing damage. So like each piece has health. So you could have like a queen that has a lot of health, that does a lot of damage, but then also has like the moveset of a pawn. You know what I mean? Like that could be kind of interesting. But again, it all depends on the execution. I think the idea, there's a lot of potential in that idea, but yeah, that's my thoughts. Hello, Christopher. Good morning to you. We'll be taking part in this year's Kenny Jam. When is that? Also, thank you, Kenyaz. Hello, Neozoid. Good to see you again. Oh, shoot. I don't know how to do the crit chance. Do I make a crit chance that's on the card that affects all critable abilities? Or do I give each ability its own crit chance? And I have to think that this all has to work with the alchemy system too. So like, what does it look like to alchemize abilities that have different crit chances? You know what, I'm kind of leaning towards just making the crit chance a stat on the card itself, because that's going to be easier to alchemize. It's going to be easier to display to the user. Yeah. It's also going to be easier to, let's see. Yeah, I think it's also going to be easier to modify the crit chance as well. Okay. So man, this is going to be okay. I'm just going to start working. I'm going to add the crit chance and crit multiplier to the card itself. But then I'm also going to use the iCritable to basically define abilities that can be crits. And then we'll figure out how to display the information to the player after that. All right, here we go. I hope I'm not making a mistake. Public float critical chance. Get private set. 0. Actually, I guess I don't need to do that. Public float critical multiplier. Get private set equals, we'll start with 1.5. So it'll be 50% damage increase when you crit by default. Okay. Oops, what did I do? Oh no. Messed up my OBS a little bit. That's okay. Good morning, Yannick. Always good to see you. Welcome back. Lots of familiar faces. I like seeing all the familiar faces in the chat every morning. It's very nice. And of course, I know that there's lurkers out there that watch every time too, that don't chat. I appreciate you as well, even though I don't know your name. All right, so let's see. Critical chance, critical multiplier, ability. I'm probably going to do an I critable in here. So let's do I critable. Hello, Jack. Good to see you. Oops. New file I critable.cs. Basically, the I critable. I actually think this is mostly just going to be a tag. So namespace game.data.ability interface I critable. Is basically not going to be anything in here. Is that like a code smell? I don't know. Anyway, we'll deal with the smell. I've been dealing with smells quite a bit with my little cat saga here, but TMI. All right, so let's see. Damage. So let's just start with damage. We'll use this as like the test case here. I'm not going to go overboard and like change everything, but I think that's going to be good. Where are my extensions at? So I think I'll just put the ability in here. So new I critable. Actually, let's do critable extensions. Namespace game.data.ability. Public static class critable extensions. Let's just lift this out of here. We're going to use mathutil.rng.randf. And then we need the critical chance in here. Oh, yeah, in this implementation, right. So actually, you know what? Maybe I don't even need this now. Maybe this should be on the base card. Now that these values are on the base card, so okay. Modify global, okay, yeah. Public int apply critical chance. Yeah, actually this is going to be nicer. Critical extensions, delete. Goodbye, critical extensions. Round to int. Magnitude times critical multiplier. Let's do floor to int, and we'll return magnitude. Okay. So do I not need this I critable then? I probably don't. Oh, I will maybe. We'll just keep it. I'll need to be able to determine which abilities can be critted and which can't, I think. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to need, yeah. So let's do this. Var final magnitude is equal to execution context dot base dot card dot apply critical chance magnitude, and then all of these need to change to final magnitude. I'm also going to need some way of knowing if the crit was applied, because I'll want to visually indicate that there's been a crit. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. I think what I would probably do is just have this return a tuple that returns the modified number as well as a flag indicating whether the crit was procced or not. But let's do that for now. And then in the base card here, critical multiplier. Okay. All right. So I'm just going to set this to 1. I'm just going to see if that even works. I think it should. And then we'll figure out how to actually display that on the card. And I'm going to add one more thing. Make alchemy mix and match crit chance and multiplier. So the nice thing about doing this kind of thing is that as I add more features to the game, the alchemy system is actually going to become much deeper just by default, because it can start mixing and matching more things. So anyway, so we got 8 damage. What I'd probably want to do is maybe show... Probably want some kind of thing on each line of ability that indicates that this ability can crit. Yeah, lots to figure out here, I suppose. But what this should be doing now is this should be doing what? 12 damage? And the villager should deal, well, half would be 3.5, so that'd be rounded down. So the villager should do 10 and I should do 12. Boom, 12 damage, boom, 10 damage. Okay, so that is working. I didn't really think that that wasn't going to work because it's a very basic implementation, but it's working. Okay. So now we need a way of displaying that on the card. Do I want new icons? Let me think. Probably shouldn't be really thinking about icons yet until I figure this out, but I kind of think that an icons here would be nice. I kind of want to do, I don't know. Am I going way too far afield here? Let's see. Assets UI icon. Oh, did I just... I guess I just drew the icons in here. Okay, well, let's do a new file. I think it's supposed to be 9 by 9. I'm kind of curious. Let's see. I don't know. There's an argument to be made that you shouldn't really work on visuals when you're prototyping something, but I really like doing it because it gives me a clearer idea of what's all going on. And it gives me a little bit of... How do I draw a percent symbol? Oh, goodness. Here. So if I do this, that does not look like a percent symbol. That also doesn't look like a percent symbol. All right, I think that will work. And then I'm just gonna outline this. I don't know, we'll see. Not really gonna be able to tell. Oh no, it's at the top here. I think I can do this. Yeah, whatever. That'll work. I have no clue if that's going to look good, but let's do crit chance.png. Let's go to my card inspector here. And I'll catch up on chat here also in just a sec. These HBox containers here. Yeah, so I think... I don't know, let's see what it looks like. Crit chance. Are these not 9 by 9 or am I just... Oh, they're 11? What? 11? Who made this 11 pixels? 11? Wait. Why is it... It's 11 wide and 9 tall? Who made these? Is this 9 by 9? 9, 9, yeah. I guess as long as it's 9 pixels tall, it doesn't matter what the width is, but that's okay. Okay, so this is going to be crit chance label. And I'll just do like 25% here or something. I don't know. Should this be red? I don't know, man. Why are you asking me these questions? Anyway, is your IDE the same color palette as your game? Yeah, I'm using the Dracula theme in VS Code, and then I've just added oh, not as the game, no. But I'm using a similar color palette for Godot and also the VS Code. Hello, Felipe Lurker here. Good morning. Well, you are no longer a lurker. You have officially exited lurkerdom, so welcome. Always good to see you. Well, always good to know that you are a lurker, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Appreciate you for watching. Cody, welcome back. Kenny Jam is around 2 months, so enough time to prepare, I guess. Lasts for two days, and all sprites are pre-made. Okay, interesting. I might do that. I think GMTK Jam is in July as well. I'm definitely going to do that one. I think GMTK Jam is like the most quote-unquote prestigious jam now. It's certainly the largest one. Very cool. Keep going, man. Thank you, Horror Angel Games. Thank you, thank you. You are very limited with assets and time. I think it's very interesting. It does sound interesting. I do like game jams that have tighter constraints. What version of Godot do you use? This is 4.4.1. Typically, unless well, I guess the safe assumption is I'm just on whatever the latest stable release is. Could be an effect on the number to let you know the modifications applied to it. Oh, I see. Yeah, like a text effect or something. The number is a color like the keywords. Yeah. Ever thought about adding just clicking on an item when you open a booster to add it in inventory? The drag seems like it could get tedious. Yeah, I want to add... Oh, hold on. My cat is going to puke. 1 second. All right, sorry about that. Hello, Ariane, welcome back. Have you implemented the deterministic random number generator so you can also implement seeded runs? I'm going to do that for, not for the combat, but for the, yeah, for like generating the events and stuff. So I'm definitely going to do that. What is the tool that you're using to measure? This is just the ruler tool in Godot. You can just select it here, and then you can drag and measure things. Makes you remember today's looking at it for a very sick dog can never focus. Yeah, that's kind of the situation that I'm in. My cat hasn't been able to keep down food since yesterday at 1, so I don't know what to do. I mean, it's like, I don't know. At least the dog was sick, cats puke on a regular basis. Yeah, well, my cat doesn't go outside, and I can't keep any food down. My cats are 10, 11 years respectively, and the ungrateful 4 balls are as good as new. That's great, though. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that. Can you guys give me just like 5 minutes here? I'm gonna call the vet and schedule an appointment for either today or tomorrow. So give me just 5 minutes and I'll be right back and we'll continue on with this stuff. All right, sorry about that, everyone. So yeah, I had to leave a message, so I may get a call back. I may have to abruptly pause the stream again, but we're gonna try to get done what we're gonna get done here. Recently played a lot of Slice and Dice. Think it's good model for heavy use of modifications and keywords with exceptional UI design. Oh, I'll have to look into that. Slice and Dice, okay. Pog morning, everyone. Bill is upwards of oh my goodness. That's crazy. It's awful when they're unwell, yeah. Yeah, I mean, my cat had this issue almost exactly a year ago, and I spent thousands of dollars on emergency vet visits, and I thought we had solved the problem, but guess not. So, what are you gonna do? Yeah, mutts and whatnot. My cat is a Sphinx, obviously, and being purebred is like, yeah, a disaster in terms of health. Yeah, mutts are the best because they're just like, yeah, sturdy genetics. The firms that back these clinics are trying to maximize profits. Yeah, I usually try to take my cat to just local vets, like just, I don't know if you could call it like a mom and pop vet that are just like community run, you know. But, you know, for the emergency clinics, that's not necessarily the case. Yes, finally back. Awful. Yeah, it's awful. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? So, I'm realizing that these things probably need an outline too, these icons. So let me do this. So we've got that icon, and then we'll want the crit multiplier as well. Do I want to do that too? Let's do it. Save. Crit multiplier. What are you gonna do? Do I want to do that? Does that even look like a sword anymore? Kind of looks weird when it's not against a background, but I think I can probably... Maybe I can swing that. So let's do that. Oh, it's getting too big now. Maybe I want to put these on a different level here. So maybe if I do VBox container here, put that in there, and then do another series of HBox containers. Delete this, delete that. Crit multiplier label. Oh, cat. Crit multiplier label. Oh, these are going to look exactly the same, aren't they? These icons. It looks basically the same. I could probably change one of these. Let's see. Crit chance. Maybe I'll use... Load default palette. Maybe I'll use like blue instead. Whatever, I can play with those icons later, I suppose. I'll play with those later. Most important thing is I just want to get this visible, so. Okay, so let's do some organization here. This is crit details container. We'll do that. We'll do something like that, 1.5x. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so we got the crit chance label, crit multiplier label. Setup description. So we need node private control crit details container. We'll just put it down here. Crit details container dot visible is equal to base card dot critical chance is greater than 0. If crit details container dot visible, then what we'll do in here is we will say, I need to get a reference to those labels. Node private label crit chance label, node private label crit multiplier label. Crit chance label is equal to base card.critical chance times 100. And we're going to want to round that. Mathf dot, actually let's do a floor to int. Okay, and then crit multiplier label, we'll do this. Base card dot critical multiplier. I forgot how to do the formatting. Is it this? I have no clue how to do the string format. That's okay. Oh, it's got to be inside. You know what? Why am I doing this? Why am I doing that? Rewrite this string format so that it always shows only 2 decimal places. F2. Okay. Whatever works. All right. So crit multiplier label dot text. All right, let's see if that works. So it's not going to show that those crit details if there's no crit chance. Pure breed is kind of evil in nature. Animals aren't supposed to be like that. The worst case of it are pugs. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Don't want to get depressed. Tell me about that cool plant tower defense. We just go to a small town vet. We just feel like they do a good job. Yeah, if you find a good small vet, I think that I think that's when I receive the best care, when my cat receives the best care. Welcome back, Breckheck, by the way. Make the process of pixel art look so natural. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of practice. I'm still learning, but lots of practice, you know. 100%. That's not right. 100% crit chance. Oh, it is right. 100%, 1.5x. Okay. from a game jam. I complimented him about a second ago. Oh, I see. Yeah, Farmers Incoming. I didn't know we were talking about my game. No, so Farmers Incoming was GMTK Jam entry. The theme was roles reversed, and so I kind of made a reverse tower defense, which typically if you think of a reverse tower defense, you're thinking, oh, you're the one spawning the enemies in the tower defense, right? But what I did actually is I did a different twist on it, which is that you control the towers directly. So in a typical tower defense, you basically place the towers and just upgrade them and they automatically hit the enemies, right? Well, in this Farmers Incoming game that I made it so that you control each tower and its attacks, and the upgrading and the placement happens automatically. So what you do is you basically just bounce around from tower to tower and you use them to fend off the waves of enemies, and more towers appear automatically for you, and the tower gets upgraded based on how much experience it gains, which is based on how many enemies you kill when you're controlling it. So yeah, it was an interesting concept, I think. Maybe there's room for further exploration there. That game did pretty well. I think a couple of reasons it did well is, one, it's an interesting twist on the tower defense genre, and two, I think the theme was just kind of funny because it's like it's all the crops and flowers and whatnot that you would see on like a farm, but they're the ones killing the farmers and like their tractors and stuff. I thought it was pretty funny. Purebred Sphinx hard mode for pet care, probably so stressful from time to time. Yeah, I mean, you know, he has these GI issues, and then he's also got hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, which is a heart disease that is ultimately fatal. So it's like, you know, what are you gonna do? You know, I only have so much emotional bandwidth, and it's like I'm doing the best that I can, and you know, whatever happens is gonna happen. Sid Meier that said when you're adjusting things, make them double or half because you'll find out quicker what you need to actually change it to. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, if you make wild number changes, that is much more helpful than like making marginal changes. Definitely agree with that. Haven't had one. I'm mentally debating whether to get a dog or a snake. That's quite a difference in pets. Dogs are a lot of work. Hello, Filippo. Well, a silly question. Do you think that vibe coding will change game programming in a couple years? I'm not sure. If we're talking like pure vibe coding, the problem with pure vibe coding is that you're going to end up in a situation where no one has a good understanding of the system. And so I can see that actually being detrimental. Basically, the way I view vibe coding is like there's a concept in software engineering known as technical debt. Technical debt is basically you make certain decisions that you know are going to need to be fixed or addressed or redone down the line, and you take on that debt. And some debt is intentional and some debt is unintentional. So some versions of technical debt are basically like you just try to get the feature out as fast as possible, and as the system scales and grows, it becomes completely unmaintainable and completely unworkable. And then there are other things where you intentionally take on the debt. You say, well, we're going to do this very direct, obvious solution right now, knowing full well that in 3 months' time we're going to have to redo it, but we don't maybe necessarily know the requirements yet, or we don't know how this feature is actually going to play out in production. So we're fine taking on that technical debt that will pay down later because we're actually unsure if we're going to keep the feature or not, right? And so vibe coding to me is like a pure vibe coding is basically just, you're just 100% doing technical debt. You're just on credit. Basically, they're just borrowing. And eventually the system is going to get to the point where if the AI doesn't understand it, or the AI has too much context to work with and can't actually make the changes that you want it to make, then you're just left with a pile of technical debt that you need to pay down. So I'm not sure. Oh, I'm getting the call back from the vet. I'll finish the answer in just a second. All right, sorry everybody. Thank you for your patience. This is a nightmare. This is an absolute nightmare. But, you know, that's how life goes, you know? What are you gonna do? So anyway, I was answering this question, yeah. So I think, yeah, back to the technical debt thing. I think that's the big problem with vibe coding. Now, the big question is AI gonna be good enough where it's gonna have a large enough context to know, like, as the system gets bigger, how to make the precise changes that it needs to make and the architectural changes that it needs to make in order to keep building on top of it. That's the big question. But if you're talking about vibe coding in a more narrow sense, like what I'm doing, where I'm just chatting with the AI for specific architecture recommendations or having it write very specific scripts that I would write myself, I think that is going to change things. Because like the way that AI is useful for me, at least, is I know what I want to be done and I know how I want it to be written, and I'm just using the AI to save me the busy work of doing that. So, you know, like, perfect example of this is I needed to generate a Roman numeral string from a number. Now, I could have gone to Stack Overflow and like copied an algorithm, or I could have maybe sat down and tried to write it myself. But I just, in my IDE, I just wrote a prompt, create a 2 Roman numeral method, and it did it. And that's, you know what I mean? It's like, that's the perfect thing. So anyway, they have up-to-date Claude for free, which is the best at code writing. Oh, interesting. All hail vibe coding. Only AIs will know how to code now. Yeah, for sure. Unless I can understand a whole code-based vibe coding will just die after a time. Yeah, that's the big thing. It's going to create debt. Yep. It's just very fancy pattern recognition. Yeah. Maybe changes to quantum computers. Yeah, quantum computers, I don't know what's going on there, but I don't know what's going on there. Debugging. Yeah, you still need to know how to debug. You still need to know how to be able to read code, because like if the AI can't solve something and you don't know what's going on, you're kind of stuck, right? But future, who can tell? Yeah, future, I mean, that's a big question, right? Yeah, well, I mean, all we can do really is speculate. Yeah, APIs. Yeah, that's the other problem, is that the AIs don't really work on real-time knowledge. They work on data that they've been trained on, and so they require constant updates. And so it's like, that's another big question too. Yeah, fancy automation. Yeah, that, I mean, I think if you just view it as like a junior developer that you can just hand busy work to, I think that's the best way to view AI right now. Like, use it for the things that you know how to do already and just don't want to do because it's just going to take time, and it's not a challenge. It doesn't involve any architectural decisions. It's just like, I need this method that does X thing. Or you can use it, like I've been using it to write shaders too, which is like, I can describe what I want from a shader. I don't necessarily know how to write shaders that well, but the AI helps for that too. Won't be hired to learn. They will be replaced in 5 years. There'll be senior devs and no juniors. And when we die, no devs at all. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Comments at war about AI. I don't think it's a war. It's a very nice discussion. But yeah, we'll have to see what happens, you know? I mean, I think there's a bunch of different ways that all this thing could go. We could hit a wall with AI where it just can't get better no matter how much we try. Or it's going to go into the, you know, what some people are predicting, which is like, you know, super intelligence. It's hard to say. I think both outcomes are equally likely, honestly. Actually, no, I don't. I think that the more likely outcome is that we're going to hit a wall with AI where it just can't get better no matter what we try. I think it's going to, like, diminishing returns are going to hit real hard and real fast. They might already actually be doing that. So anyway, let's see. So yeah, I think this is working great. So I've got this display in here. So now let's actually work on being able to add crit. So I think the way to do this would be to maybe add that to the card definition resource. Yeah, if I add like a crit chance configuration here. I'm not an AI paladin. That's a hilarious phrase. I'm not against it. I do use it to help me, but I'm programming 20 years, so I'm good. Yeah. Honestly, yeah, the biggest risk, I agree, is to junior developers, both from a career perspective, but also just getting caught up and relying on AI too much such that your skills don't improve. So do I want to put the crit chance and crit mult modifier here? Shoot, what do I want to do? Two card instance. Public float crit chance. Get private set. Export public float crit multiplier. Get private set. We'll set this to 1.5 by default. Then in this base card here, we'll set this to card definition resource crit chance. Card definition resource dot crit multiplier. Okay, so if we build this now. So yeah, I need to figure out a way of indicating which abilities can do crit damage. So there's no more crit stuff there because the crit chance is 0, so that's good. All right, so how do I want to actually indicate whether a number can crit? What I might do, maybe I'll just put a range in here. So deal 8 to... No, a range wouldn't work. How do I want to indicate whether an ability is critable or not? How do I want to do that? Should I just put it in the description here? Maybe I should just do that. Would that work? Damage. Ability explanations. Physical damage is affected by... Can be affected by critical modifiers. Should I just do that? So then I do the same for heal. Not paralysis. Shield. Ooh, shield would be a good one to affect. Poison. Maybe I'll just do can be affected by critical modifiers, all of these. I don't know, is that a good solution for now until I find a better way to do it? Interesting. I'm literally a junior dev, used AI like crazy because I'm lazy until I realized I'd actually get worse in my job, so now try to avoid it like crazy. Yeah, that's a good idea. A sword icon with an exclamation point for a crit icon. So yeah, that could work. Yeah, something like that. The problem is I need to figure out a way to put icons in line with text here. So I don't know. Arrow up next to sword. Oh, that's a good idea. I'm following your course, but I tend to find myself trying to understand the code, trying to do it myself, which ended me turning back to the video to copy paste. Yeah, I mean, I think that's just probably part of learning. It's a good that you're trying to understand the code for sure. But yeah. Just part of learning. You're going to have to go back and reference things and look it up again. So I should probably make crit work for everything that I've said it will work for. So let's go to poison here. Var magnitude is equal to .card.apply critical chance. We'll take final magnitude. Cool. All right, what's the other one? Fire. I'm feeling better about this actually. Var final magnitude is equal to that. I do need a way of knowing whether it was whether it critted or not. I'm not really using this iCritable here. I might as well just delete this while it's doing nothing, because it's just adding noise. I'll add that back if I ever need it. Damage heal. Okay. Did I not update the heal? Hold on a second. Oh, no, I did. Okay. Cool. So we added crit to basically every... I think that makes sense. I think that makes sense. So, yeah. Okay, I'm feeling okay about that, honestly. So I think that's fine. Okay, so what was I doing? Okay, add critical chance support. So I think that's basically in place. Obviously, I can do some more work on the UI to indicate that, but let's see if we can add a card now. I do have to end the stream shortly. I did secure a vet appointment for noon 30, so that's about hour and 10 minutes. So yeah, let me do this. So let me see. Bone necklace, zombie tomes, dowsing rod, beating heart, ziggurat, sextant, lead ingot, holy water, morel, amanita muscaria, mausoleum key, salamander. Ooh, a salamander would be fun. Let's do it. Let's do a salamander. Let's do a salamander. YOLO. We're going to see how fast we can draw this thing here. Card, background, 2x1. We're going to go locked in mode here. Card, new folder, salamander. Salamander. That's such a weird word, salamander. Load a default palette. So I'm going to do something interesting with this salamander, I think. At least I think it's going to be interesting. I don't know. We'll see. Oops, I already effed up. It's okay. Oops. He's looking a little bulbous. Also a little bit long. Okay. Do like a stubby little arm here. Decent, I guess. I guess it's decent. We'll see. I'm obviously going to change this, some of this coloration here, but let's see how this looks. So I kind of want the salamander to do. I don't know. Let me think. My initial thought was maybe the salamander could do fire damage and some kind of crit as well. So I'm just going to get the shading in place. Why does the foot still look weird? Let's see. What is this? What is going on down here? I don't understand. What did I do? Okay, that looks better, I suppose. The legs are a little bit wonky. Oh, that already looks better. I think one of the problems I'm running into is like the arm needs to be connected in here, which is going to be difficult. So I'm just going to draw a new, yeah, and then delete around it. That looks better. Actually don't know what a salamander looks like. I'm just kind of like just drawing things. Oh goodness. Looks all right, I think. I'm going to need the same strategy up in here, though. Get its leg up like that, and then just... There we go. Do I want to make his little toes highlighted? Oh yeah, that looks better. The face is terrible. I need to work on the face. I need to work on the face a little bit, but that's all right. Yeah, this face, I think it's mostly the mouth here. That's the problem. Little happy guy. Actually, don't think that's probably appropriate. Maybe I should look up what a salamander looks like. Oh, it looks kind of better, actually. Maybe I'll just do it without a mouth, because the mouth makes it look... That looks more neutral. There's not enough contrast here. Wonder if I should even bother with this up here. I mean, it kind of looks all right. Let's see. It's fine. Looks more like a lizard now, but that's also okay. I mean, it doesn't look bad. I don't know a lot about things about bash and shell interactions after using AI. I guess I just learned it from getting used. Now I use NeoVim, a Linux bro group. Nice. You know what I suggested? Salamander. It's Salamander scales fire defense. Didn't know you'd make the whole thing. Oh, right. Yeah, you did suggest scales. I like the salamander as an entity though. I think that's fun. I'm gonna make it apply fire and also maybe damage, and then also have a crit chance as well. Their eyes are pretty small. No eyes was looking better. I think this is looking all right. I think it's looking okay now. Can I ask a small favor? Would it be okay if you could eventually tell us how the visit to the vet went, if it's not too much? Hope it's nothing serious and Cat's gonna be fine. Yes, I will keep you updated. I'm sure you'll hear from me about it tomorrow. He'll be fine. I mean, he's drinking and stuff. You know, animals can go for a long time without food, humans as well. So even though he's not able to keep food down, I'm not terribly worried about it. As long as he gets progressively better and is still drinking water. But I'm going to go to the vet and see maybe they can prescribe some anti-nausea medication or something. I don't really know what they're going to do though, because it's like, you know, it's some kind of food intolerance that's triggered by food. And if he can't keep down the new food that I got him, then I'm not really sure what they can do for him other than maybe pump him full of anti-nausea stuff and hope that forces him to keep food down. I mean, I just don't know, you know. I just don't know if that's gonna work. Actually, this turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. The face is a little bit cartoony, I think. But I think the overall shape is actually pretty good. I think it's actually pretty good. Let's see, I've got an hour until I gotta go to the vet. So let's see if we can get this wrapped up real quick. So let's go to here. Hello, Dusty, welcome back. Good to see you again. Always good to see you. Salamander, oh, card definition resource, Salamander. turn cooldown. Let's do 5 tags, minion, we'll do minion and alchemical. That sounds good. Let's do a 0.25 crit chance and a 1.5 crit multiplier. That's fine. Okay, let's go ahead and create that salamander script. Create a salamander script that extends base card, do nothing else. Oops. I know you don't know how to do that. Let's see if the agent knows how to do it. Okay, it almost did it correctly. Okay, by almost, I mean not at all. Why are you adding a comment that says constructor? Come on, AI. Simple damage, simple poison. So let's do simple damage. Simple damage, simple fire. Let's do 4 damage, 4 fire. That's basically it, actually. Run manager. Salamander. All right, let's see what happens. Maybe I should look at what a salamander looks like. Reminds me of those artists that never saw exotic animals when drawing them and ended up drawing dragon-like creatures instead of camels. Yeah, that is very entertaining. 25%, 1.5, deal 4 damage. Nice. So this is like a nice little apply 4 damage, deal 4 damage, apply 4 fire. And it also has a crit. So I need to have a visual for when a crit happens. But this is going to increase the amount of things I can do with the game quite a bit. Let's see if the salamander wins. Let's see. Ow. Oh, I need a fire effect. I'm still lacking that too. I think the salamander's going to win. So the fire is kind of like a time... Oh, it critted. It applied 6 instead of... Nice. Yeah, I definitely need some visuals for that. Look at how cute he is. Oh my gosh. I like tagging it as alchemical too. That's going to be interesting. So you got a minion and alchemical. He's so cute though. Very cool. So yeah, he is functional now. All the talk about salamanders reminds me of the Fairy Tale, the anime. I'm not familiar with that. How's the game speed? Did it take long to do last stream? It's fine, yeah. So there's just a couple of edge cases that I had to fix. The hardest thing was doing the auto resolve. So I added auto resolve to the game, which basically just iterates through all of the... It just iterates through all of the turns. Oh, I need to make this. Yeah. So yeah, I'll show you the auto resolve here real quick. So I'll put this on here, begin, auto resolve, and I lost. Okay. So all that does is that just runs all the turns immediately, sequentially, instead of waiting for animations and stuff. And then it will determine who lives and who dies based on that. Because the animations, really, they're just like window dressing. Like I said before, when you start the combat, like it can be known who wins as soon as you click the begin button based on the board configurations and all that stuff. Although that is going to be less true now that there's crit chance, because that adds an element of variability into it. So it is possible that you could lose an outcome, change nothing, do that same encounter again, and win. So it's not actually entirely deterministic now. But the auto-resolve, basically, it just simulates all the turns. It does all the turns, one right after another, and then shows you the result. And then the speed controls, yeah, these just change how fast the turns go. So still have a lot of work to do, but the Salamander did not take that long. So I'm glad. Add Salamander. Okay, so I am going to go get prepped now for the vet appointment that I need to get to. So thank you all for being here. Thank you all for watching. Very much appreciate chatting with you. Sorry for going AFK quite frequently in this one, but what are you going to do? So I'll hopefully be back at it tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. Hopefully my cat's feeling better and all that good stuff. But yeah, in the meantime, please check out the links in the description below. Those are all the ways you can support my work. And I hope to see you all tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern. All right. Yeah, thank you, everyone. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.